Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. For some reason, I almost thought it was Friday. I guess I'm ready for the weekend. But happy Thursday, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Please hit that like button, everybody. Hey, y'all. Tommy is saying, hey, y'all. Everyone, that is Tommy, my mod. Everyone, say hi, Tommy. Please hit that like button, everybody. Welcome to the live. Please hit that like button. And I hope you all are having a great week. Yes, I am. So for tonight, I have a glass of rosé. It's a non-alcoholic rosé. A friend of mine came over and brought me a bottle of non-alcoholic rosé. So I'm trying it out. So if you guys hear me sipping on something, I am sipping on rosé, honey. This is going to be me the whole time. The whole time sipping. Um, but yeah, let me know what you guys are drinking. If you guys are drinking anything, Thursday is the new Friday, honey. It is the new Friday. So I hope that you guys are ready to have fun. I hope you guys are good. Tommy says, what brand is it? It is called So Jenny. And it is a rosé that is from France, apparently. I can send you a picture of the bottle if you want to see it. Because I know you don't drink as well, so maybe that might be something for you, if you don't drink. All right, let's get into it, honey. Please hit that like button. Today we have quite a bit to talk about. We will be talking about some Married to Medicine news. We're also going to be talking about some Real Housewives of Atlanta stuff, and we will be talking about Destiny and Tisha. So today, I don't want to have to beg for no likes today. So please, as you guys come in, just smash that like button as you come in. Just hit that like button, and so that, yeah, hit that like button, and then we can have the conversation. Okay, so Tommy says, yes, I want to see it. Don't worry, I will send you a picture. I've actually been enjoying, maybe I'll even look and send you a few others. Um, I do have a few other non-alcoholic drinks that are very, very nice. And you almost forget that it has no alcohol just because it just tastes almost like it has alcohol and it's very nice. So I will send you some of those as well. And y'all, if you guys want me to send it to you, just DM me and I'll send you guys a few of my non-alcoholic options for the girlies or for the people who do not drink. All right, let's start with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's start with Brit. I bet that the people over there on Bravo are just like, what have we done to deserve this? To be completely honest, you guys did what you shouldn't have done, in my opinion. But I will share the updates that on the whole Brit situation. A couple of weeks ago, I think was it a couple of weeks ago or something, we did talk about Brit and how Brit basically filed her lawsuit federally at federal courts. And then now it sounds like Bravo and Truly Original seek dismissal amid claims by Brit. Says Brit is attempting to rewrite history. What a very interesting point. Bravo was messy for that, absolutely. I think Bravo just loves drama. So, however, they can get the drama, that's what Bravo do. Whatever they need to do to get that check. Think about it. That season, nothing was really happening that season. Drew and Portia were having all these beef that no one knows what that was about. So it was definitely obvious that they had nothing going on. There was not enough drama left in the tank. And so I would not be surprised if the people over there on Bravo were like, yo, we need to do something. And so when Kenya assisted by doing what she did, they decided not to scrap it out of the episode because that was the most drama the episode was going to get. So they can't now cry now when the lady wants to sue them. But anyway, let's read. So Docket Diva says, before the former Real Housewives of Atlanta star ever stepped foot on set, she signed a talent agreement with her own lawyer present. The contract said the show could be dramatic, offensive, unfavorable, and emotionally challenging. That is crazy what these people be signing. Guys, please hit that like button. It is crazy what they have these people signing. And that's the thing. Sometimes when you want to be on TV, it's like, imagine they're telling you it could be dramatic, offensive, unfavorable, and you're probably just thinking, all right, cool. She signed it anyway. For Bravo, that's where it starts and stops. She filed 10 counts: essay harassment, retaliation, breach of contract, negligence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and more. Bravo's response is every single one needs to go. They are asking for a dismissal. So they are basically asking the courts to get rid. They do not want to be held liable for any of the claims. They are asking the courts to completely dismiss every single one of them. Okay? And then it says, let me move into the next one. On the harassment claims, the filing says nothing she describes even qualifies as actionable harassment, especially on reality TV set. And by her own allegations, Kenya Moore was the one who acted, not Bravo or Truly Original, but Kenya. They then say the sex discrimination claim dead on arrival. According to Bravo's response, you have to prove the conduct happened because you are a woman. She never alleged that, can't satisfy the element, can't keep the claim. Then Brit tried to argue Bravo's internal workplace policies were binding contracts. According to the filing, Bravo says policies are not contracts. That is settled law. Ooh, the lawyers are really, really coming in strong, honey. Those lawyers are not playing games. Okay. The jurisdiction argument is irrelevant, according to Bravo. Everything happened in Atlanta. Her New York discrimination claims don't apply. I wonder why she filed in New York. Maybe there are some, maybe New York tends to be more favorable in terms of some of these things. Maybe that's why she decided she wanted to file in New York. But I think that's interesting. Bravo's closing arguments essentially said that Real Housewives of Atlanta has always been Real Housewives of Atlanta. She knew that and signed up for it. Court should dismiss this in full. Okay, that is very interesting. And then she puts the paperwork. We don't have to read it, but I love that she did also summarize and give us some tweets for the people like us who are like, nah, we cannot be bothered to read through every single thing that is being said. It sounds like she's basically suing them. They are trying to get it dismissed. They are arguing that Real Housewives of Atlanta is Real Housewives of Atlanta. But in all fairness to Brit, such has never happened on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And even the fact that all of the castmates were entirely shocked shows that they have never been exposed to that level of toxicity, even on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I don't know how far the argument about let's Real Housewives of Atlanta be Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't know how far that's going to run with the courts. But I think I'm going to let me put a poll in the chat so that you guys can tell me, do you think that Brit has a case against Bravo? Okay. So I have just put a poll in the chat for you guys. Please let me know. My question in the poll is, do you guys think that Brit has a case against Bravo? And if you guys can please participate in the vote, let me know. And for those who will eventually listen to this on replay, just put your response to that in the comments so we can still also interact with you guys. Okay. So let me read Tommy's comments. But where do they draw the line? That's her lawyer. That's on her lawyer to have negotiated with Bravo, because that's a wild contract to sign. The thing about shows and companies like Bravo is they have their contract. They're probably not going to really amend some of those terms. They have those like really strong contract for a reason, because of the kind of shenanigans that happens on these sorts of shows. So I don't think legal would have cleared them if they did not get her to sign that contract, to be completely honest. But I guess it'll be interesting to see how far and how far and whether or not the court would deem that this is completely unreasonable and this is extreme behavior. Because I think one of our arguments could be that if in the history of Real Housewives of Atlanta, this has never happened before, this took it entirely too far, and this is not something that is reasonable to expect of someone that is on a show, right? So maybe that could work, but we'll have to see what happens. Tommy says, not them pushing it to Kenya like she wasn't working for her check, plus they are vicariously liable. Absolutely. To be honest, it's like I hear them trying to push it onto Kenya, but Kenya was also the one that did it. If Kenya decided that she didn't want to do it, Kenya should have decided that, okay, do you know what? I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to be a good girl. I'm not going to be doing that. Yeah, not Bravo, but Kenya. And that's the thing. It's obvious that they were basically just trying to, like, Kenya should actually bear the brunt of it. The problem is Kenya does not Kenya does not have the kind of money Brit wants for this. And I can understand, because this happened at work. If this happened in your workplace, I'm sure that you would be trying to get or trying to sue the company. You're not going to go for the employee. You would go for the company because you are arguing that they are vicariously liable. Exactly. Absolutely. That's what it's given, to be honest. Tommy says, yes, the housemates literally walked off. That scene is clearly not normal. Exactly. And if I were her lawyer, I would be gathering those clips. I would be gathering whatever I can in terms of like evidence. If I can speak to any of the people, although some of the people would not want to say anything. So us then using some of the clips from the show that literally shows the fact that everyone was shocked. Everyone said that's not normal. Everyone said that this was extreme. Shows that it was way excessive. Tommy says, please hit that like button as you watch. And yes, I agree. Hit that like button. Also participate in the poll. Do you guys think that Brit has a case against Bravo? Please vote in the chat. Let me see what you guys are saying. Tommy says she for sure has a case against Bravo. Yeah, I think there is definitely something there, but I hope that the argument will not be lost on jurisdiction, because I feel like if the court decides that that's not the right jurisdiction for it, then they might dismiss it and she might have to file it in a completely different court or something. So I hope that her lawyers are doing the right thing by filing it in the jurisdiction that they filed it in. Hey, Super. Thanks for joining in tonight. I hope you're doing well. Super says, yes, she has a case. Yeah, I definitely think there is something there, because it's just like, this happened at work. You let it happen. Even after it happened, you still decided to air the footage. Yes, you covered it, but you still aired it so people knew what happened. And so there's definitely something there. But I think I would be interested to see what are the sorts of what's the contract that she signed. Like, how tight is that contract? Because sometimes when you sign those contracts, the court may just be like, well, you signed it, you were comfortable with that until you were on the receiving end of that. So that would be interesting to see. Super says, production allowed Kenya to use those display boards and Bravo should have never aired it. They made a choice to show it. Absolutely. And I think that's what is wild. They could have decided not to show it. They could have decided to, as soon as they saw, because production would have seen her when she brought the board out, they could have said, cut, right? Everybody cut. Let's talk about this. Kenya, straight into the room, right? They could have done that, but they didn't. They let it play out, right? And so I just feel like there's also some responsibility that as employers should have to their employees if they are whilst they're working. What she's suing for is exactly what she signed up for. What she's suing for is exactly what she signed up for. CC Green is saying, laughable. She walks into it eyes wide open. Lawyers will take your money if you're willing to give it away. Well, so CC definitely thinks that she is not going to get anything. That's what is given. CC doesn't think she's going to get anything. I'm going to put the link to this live in the chat, just in case anyone wants to jump in and share their thoughts. I personally think that unless she signed something that was so seriously strong and tight, I think she should be entitled to get something. Because even if you sign up for drama, you don't necessarily sign up for posters basically claiming that it is you are plastered all over. It doesn't make sense, right? I don't think anyone genuinely signs up for that sort of arrangement. I just don't get that. Tommy says, yes, but every organization should therefore have guidelines and limits their workers can go to where lawsuits like these don't arise. Yes, completely agree. I think that if you're at work, there should be, think about it, right? Like, yes, I understand that Bravo is a completely different ball game. You're not at like a 9 to 5 as such. I get that. But at the same time, you're still at work. And so being able to for certain people to be able to do whatever they want to do, and production does not get involved at all. What if someone seriously got hurt? Would production also not get involved and say, this ain't got nothing to do with me? Pow somebody on camera for the sake of ratings? No, right? They have some sort of responsibility to step in when things get out of hand. They chose not to step in, and that is an oversight, or that is a huge mistake on their part. Tommy says, courts don't like to involve themselves in signed contracts unless there's an actual breach. Yep, absolutely, which is why I said it would be interesting to see exactly what she signed. It'd be interesting to see how it's phrased and what exactly she signed. Because, yeah, the courts, especially when you also have legal representation, the courts are thinking, well, you have legal representation. What is there to say? Right? And so I just feel like it's one of those things, really. Definitely a bit confusing. Alexis, hello Alexis, says Brittany is a liar. I believe Kenya. Which part? Like, what do you believe Kenya about? Let me know. What do you believe Kenya about? Because I think I may have missed what you believe Kenya about. Put it in the chat if you can. If you're still in the chat, put it in the chat or come up. There is a link if you want to join to clear it up. I'm not really sure what you mean by I believe Kenya. So the link is in the chat for anyone who wants to click on it. But yeah, Alexis, let me know. What do you mean by you believe Kenya? Because I'm not sure. I don't think I've covered anything specifically about Kenya. I have commented on Kenya's involvement in terms of bringing the picture, Brit's or whatever the alleged picture is, because Brit alleges is not even her, whatever the picture is, to social media, right? So yeah, let me know. Super says there's a reason why she went to the federal EOC. Yes, and I suspect maybe there is some like favorable federal law that she's trying to use to ensure that she is able to get more of a favorable outcome versus like um applying like, you know, just statewide. So I do wonder if there's something about that, because that would explain why she decided to take it as a federal thing. So yeah, I that was also something that sparked my curiosity a little bit, to be completely honest. Let me see. Bravo better pay my girl her check. They should. They really should, because that girl went through it. I'm not going to lie. That girl went through it. And if I'm being completely honest, I actually would have loved, I wish she didn't sue Bravo so she could be on the show. Her and Portia would have gotten along so well. They would have been the fly fun girls of Atlanta, honey. It could have been good, but so sad. Tommy says, please hit the like button as you join in your thanks for coming. Yes, please smash that like button as you come in. We're currently talking about Brit Edie and Bravo. Bravo Loki are just like, this is Kenya. This ain't got nothing to do with us. So, oh, oh my gosh. Kenya, do you guys think Kenya is going to come back anytime soon? At this point, I don't know if Kenya is going to come back anytime soon, because the drama that Bravo is currently in as a result of Kenya's actions, Bravo are probably over there like, yo, we made a big mistake. So yeah, I definitely don't think Kenya is coming back anytime soon, personally. Oh my god, I always say this. Brit was honestly a great addition, in my opinion. I agree. I agree. I think at first I wasn't really sure where she fit in. But I think towards the end, I actually started to like her, and I thought that she merged very well with the cast. Super says what Kenya did was beyond what they signed up for. I completely agree. I think it's definitely given, you've taken it too far. Like, you have taken it too far. Yes, we sign up for a little bit of drama, a little bit of shade, fun, but like, to bring up someone's picture, nah, that is excessive. That was taking way too far. Absolutely too far. Cece said she stood a chance suing Kenya, but against Bravo, dead on arrival. Okay, Cece. Cece believes that she is not getting a dime. Okay. She is not getting a dime from Bravo. Yeah, but the thing is, like, I just don't see any benefits of like suing Kenya, because how much is she really going to get from Kenya with everything that's even happening with Kenya and her salon? She's probably not going to get anything. So the lady is probably thinking, yo, I'm not going to get a dime. I might as well try to sue Bravo, because at least I have a chance of getting something with Kenya. How much are you going to clean her out of? Is she going to pay? Is it going to take years for her to pay? These are the questions she's probably asking, right? Tommy says Kenya is older. She should have known better, honestly. And I completely agree with that. I think Kenya has always had these like weird antics since day one. And so if anyone had the tendency to go far, it would have been Kenya. And so I'm not surprised that it definitely got to that point. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. We are going to be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Married to Medicine topics, and also Love and Married Huntsville. So make sure you hit that like button and yeah, get a drink, hang out with us tonight. Tommy says, I doubt Kenya would come back. Yeah, I definitely doubt she will come back, or she is not going to come back for a while. You see how Nini did not come back for ages? They left her on ice for a while. That is probably what Kenya is going to be like. To be completely honest, if the show does so much better without Kenya, they would not even bring her back. Because I've never felt that the show really liked Kenya anyway. After she went over and got married to Mark Daly privately, I never thought the producers liked her after that. Super says, I don't want Kenya back. Me too. I don't really particularly like see anything that she brings to the show that is so exceptional personally. Tommy says, Chow, Kenya still has her salon rent to pay. Wouldn't be wise to sue her. Exactly. I'm just like, there is nothing that she is going to be able to get from Kenya. So I would have sued Bravo too, and not necessarily Kenya. Or Kenya and Bravo. Super says, not only did she bring the picture and show it, she attached Brit's name to it and called her an insurance fraud 304. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. You are right about that. You are definitely right about that. Yes, she did. She did paint it out to be Brit. She said, who's that hoe? Ooh. Not you calling it 304, and I still made the mistake of saying the HOE word. That is so funny. But yes, she definitely pulled that up. And yeah, I think she did definitely made it seem like this is Brit. And she was given a whole presentation about it. So yeah, that is definitely way too excessive on any standards, in my opinion. I'm like, yo, I think if we forget that maybe we don't like the lady for whatever reason, yeah, I think the way she was done was way too far. Way too far. CC Green says, less network, forget that Bravo has a legal theme. Legal team, I think you mean. Who has a legal team who had to give the okay to release the content and terminate the offender, Kenya. So let's not forget, yes, yes, yes. I do, yes. So I personally think the legal team told Bravo that if you do this, if you post it, there is a chance she may sue you. And then Bravo probably thought, I hear that, but at the end of the day, think about how much we can make from this season because we have no drama, and maybe we'll just mitigate things by firing Kenya or by suspending Kenya. And so I think that's what they did. They thought that they would be able to mitigate it and she will not sue them. This is just my opinion. I have no way of verifying whether that is it. I just personally believe that the legal team would have warned them of the potential repercussions of airing that episode. And I think that the thing about it's risk, right? When you have lawyers and you're in that position, you tell them what the risk is, and then there would be someone who would say, someone or a set of people who would say they are prepared to accept the risk. And then something along the lines of, okay, are there ways for us to mitigate that risk? If they tell them like, okay, maybe fire Kenya, that is likely to mitigate the risk, then guess what they'll do? They'll fire her because that's a way for them to mitigate it. But then I think they thought they could keep Brit happy and then Brit wouldn't sue. And then Brit literally did a reverse Uno on them. They did not expect it. She didn't show up to the reunion and didn't tell nobody and then sued Bravo. That's personally what I think, but I have no way of proving it, so it's all alleged. This is just my personal way of thinking and some of my experience in terms of like, risk management and getting advice and that kind of stuff. So yeah. Cece said Brit continued to work to the end until she somehow had an epiphany before the reunion. Yeah, because she found out it wasn't her. Even you, don't you think like if you were going through something where they made it seem like you were out here, doing something and, participating in sex activities, you didn't see the picture, you didn't know it was you. When you finally, after you kept on asking for a picture, when you finally saw a picture, you realized it was not you. Cece, wouldn't you sue? Put it in the chat. Wouldn't you sue? Of course, you have an epiphany because it's one thing to think it's you, and it's another thing to find out that, I took responsibility for something that was not even me. I'm suing everybody. And even if the court dismisses it, I'll find another way to sue because what the hell? This is my life. Super says Kenya can't pay the salon rent now because Team 12 only supports her on the internet and not where it really matters. Oh my gosh. Ain't that a word? Ain't that a word? This is the thing also about like social media support. Ain't that a word? Isn't that the thing about social media support? Sometimes all it is social media support when you actually need them to move away from Instagram to buy your products, to do something, to put their money where their mouth is. All of a sudden, nobody's willing to do that. Ridiculous. That is actually very, very sad, to be honest. CC Green says there's nothing for Kenya to come back to. Ooh. Now, that is something I definitely agree with you on. I think the cast have significantly changed. There really isn't anything for her to come back to. Nothing. And it's not like if I think about the whole cast, her and Portia are not cool. Who else? If her and Portia are not cool, her and Phaedra are probably not cool either. Her and Cynthia are not cool. And it's like you've burned so many bridges that like nobody can even say, let me try and, get Bravo to bring you back in. Because we know Bravo love them some Portia Williams. But you're not cool with Portia anymore. You're not cool with Cynthia. Cynthia has a good relationship with the network. You're not cool with Cynthia either. So none of these people can even be like, okay, let's bring you as a friend of or something, until production decides to bring you back fully or something, or let's try to speak to the higher ups to see if they will bring you back. You can't even do all of that. And then Brit made it even worse for Kenya because now Brit is suing. So it's like, good luck with that. Super says Bravo has gotten away with so much. I hope it's the end of the road for them. They need to pay up. Ooh, I agree. And I really hope she wins. I really hope she wins because I know like people don't like her, but I think about it like if that was you, if that was your sister, you would hope that your sister would be able to get some money back. You would hope so. You would hope so. Personally, I'm like, yep, she better get some money back because this ain't it. This is not it. Now, I'm about to sip some of this rosé, honey. I'll tell you if it's good. Oh, that is good. Although it doesn't really taste like rosé. I have a better one that tastes better than this one, but it's not bad. Not the best I've had, but not bad. All right, Kenya needs to stay gone, according to Cissy Green. Brit should have left after Kenya did the display. That's the only way she could have had a valid case. Cissy, she wasn't there. She wasn't there. She had left before Kenya did the display. Right? So she had left before Kenya did the display. And so she didn't see who Kenya was referring to. It was Kelly and some of the other girls that then came out and left because they were like, whoa, we can't support this. And then came outside, right? And then Kelly, I believe, was the one that then told Brit that she saw a picture of Brit. So, Sissy, Brit didn't actually see the picture. Brit was not there. So, I guess you mean she has a valid case because she was not there. Because it's like, if you're not there, you can't, there's no way of knowing that, there's no way of knowing that this is you or this isn't you. And according to Brit asked for pictures and nobody sent her the pictures, apparently. Apparently, nobody sent her those pictures. So there is no way she would have known that it wasn't her. Which is why I'm like, yeah, that's probably one of her strongest points. Because it's like, it would be negligent for them to not even show her, like, okay, here's what happened, here is the picture, and everyone keeps claiming it's her. Nobody tried to really validate whether it's her. Now she's out here claiming that it's her, thinking it really is her, not entirely sure where they got the picture from. And then it turns out it's not her. And then Drew had the guts to be like, did you ever sell it? The cat? Oh my gosh. I wish I had that clip to hand. Wild. I'm suing everybody in that case. Absolutely suing everybody I can sue, one after the other. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the poll, and then let us move on from Brit. If you guys have any final words on Brit and Kenya and Bravo, put it in the chat because we will be moving on very shortly. Okay, let me see the poll. So 15 of you guys took part in the poll. I asked you, do you think that Brit has a case against Bravo? It was actually pretty close. 53% of you guys said she will win, yes. And then 47% said no, it's nonsense. So I think it's like, it's almost right there in the middle. But so it's almost like half and half, but it seems like, a slight majority of y'all think that she will win. And yeah. Okay, let me see if there's any final comments in the chat before we move on to something else. Super says she didn't know it wasn't her until after the season ended. Yes, exactly that. Exactly that. It's like, imagine you didn't know that was you, and then you had a whole season accepting, crying, thinking it was you, asking for the pictures, nobody sending you, which then would start to make me wonder why. Does that make sense? Why wasn't the picture given to her? Was it because they knew all along that it wasn't her? And then instead, they chose not to give her the picture, even though they knew that it was not her. That's what I wonder sometimes. Because then I'm like, did you know all along? Did you know all along? That's what my question would be. But anyway, let us move on. Guys, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Please hit that like button. Okay. So, judge orders Candy and Todd's company to pay $140,000 to the landlord. According to TMZ, Candy and Todd's company, Boris Tucker Restaurant Group, has been ordered to pay $140,000 in the settlement with the landlord of the property that was formerly occupied by Blaze Steak and Seafood. The landlord claimed the Boris Tucker Restaurant Group owed over $200,000 in back rent and repairs, but after counterclaims and over a year of legal battles, the parties both agreed to drop the claims. The judge decided to take everything off the table except for a $140,000 settlement agreement between the two parties and through the Boris Tucker Restaurant Group and though the Boris Tucker Restaurant Group has denied any wrongdoing, the judge found the settlement of $140,000 to be legally binding. I guess my thing is like, how much did they use? Because lawyer fees are not cheap. And if they were going around and dealing with this for a whole year, I can almost bet they have probably spent more than $140,000 or somewhere close enough to that to try to even reach the settlement. But so glad Candy is no longer with, oh my gosh, I'm not saying that loud. I do not want no drama. Maybe next time she would listen to Mama now that she's feeding the consequences. Todd has caused Candy to lose millions. Todd was an expensive little, and I mean little hobby for Queen Candy, but at least she has those beautiful children. Oh my gosh. Super says she was accused of having stretch marks around her mouth and her mouth having miles on it. Yes, I know you mean Brit. Oof, Angela definitely ate her up with that comment. Cece Green said, I would have left at the point of offense and filed my case then. Super says Brit invited Angel to her mouth though. That is so funny. I do think that, yeah, I think the part was when it was her picture, she probably thought like, okay, it's my picture, it's a mistake I probably made back in the day. Let me just accept it and move on. But then to find out that like you saying something you did, yeah, she's like, yeah, nah, hell nah. Hell nah. I am not falling for this. Okay. Blaze was the best restaurant they had, in my opinion. Oh, really? Ah, it's a shame the restaurant is it closed now? Oh, actually, is this is the it's the same one as this one, right? Isn't it? It's the same one as this one that they had issues with. I guess they're closed now. Brit was okay to work when she thought it was her picture, but quit once she realized it wasn't her. Make it make sense. Wishful thinking that Brit has a case. Interesting. I hear it, but this is the thing. It I feel like it's worse when you think it isn't you and you've taken ownership of it, you've cried, you've listened, and you realize that they made such a stupid blunder and it wasn't you to begin with. And it's not like it was years in between. People take time to process things. So sometimes it could take somebody a while to process something. Sometimes it takes other people not that long to process things. That's what I would say. Super says, I worked in HR. Brit has a case. Yeah, I personally think Brit has a case, to be honest. I think what would be the determining factor of things is whatever she signed in that contract. Um, but I feel like something as serious as what happened to her, I definitely think that, yeah, she would get that. She would get something. So in terms of Blaze, it's very sad that this happened to them, honestly. I definitely wish them the best. I definitely wish them the best. Okay, let's move on because we still have a few things to talk about tonight. Okay. Candice had something to say about Pinky Co. So let me share this. Even the picture they used of Pinky is sending me. Y'all couldn't find a nice little picture to use of Pinky Cole. Like seriously, you guys could not find something else. That is wild to me.
Girl, stop doing these skits.
Uh-oh.
It's all.
Here.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Can't hear anything. Guys, can you hear it?
It's weird.
It is very weird. I'm like, why are you what? Like you took time to do this.
Right. When you should be working on restructuring the debt around your business, which is because I'll say this.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have been seeing that she has been doing like skits. Like she has been doing skits about her whole bankruptcy thing. And so I'm not surprised that the people are like calling it out. Like, you've been doing skits, like it's weird. You need to stop. Right? Like, okay, fine, one skit is okay, but it just sounds like every time something happens, she's all up in the social media doing some sort of like parody or something. Like, I guess that's not necessarily what you would expect of a Real Housewife of Atlanta star, in my opinion. Okay. Let me catch up. I'm seeing a lot of the comments are bubbling up. Tommy says, Super Chatter, welcome to keep this channel going with great content like this. Thank you so much. Yes, please. Super Chats are welcome. Thank you, everyone. Super says, the last OLG, the one near my house, has been shut down too. Oh, gosh. So things are definitely happening. Like maybe it wasn't really making money. Restaurants is a very, very tricky business. So maybe it just wasn't making enough money and they they kept the outgoings were way too high. So possibly. Tommy says Candace always has something to say. I do agree. Candace always has something to say. It's just like, yeah, that's just what I was about to call her Karen. That's just what Candace does. Cece says this is not a regular HR scenario. I think you're still talking about Brit. Yes, I get that it isn't a regular HR scenario, but I think that it is way too far still. Like, I think it's still, they are still an employer. And then as an employer, you are sort of liable and responsible for the safety of your employees during the time of their work. So I just think, yeah, I just think yes is not the same situation in terms of like regular HR, but when we think about the magnitude of what was done here, is pretty serious. Tommy saying yes, we can hear. Yes. Hi Bajan, good evening. I hope you're good. Thanks for joining tonight. Tommy says, Candice, let her be. What if that's what's making her happy right now? Okay, Tommy.
This too. Because there are a lot of people saying, ooh, like, you know, kind of like doing the charade, the ooh, if you remember that from OG Atlanta, doing that at Pinky. Listen, you guys, white people have been filing chapter 11, chapter 7. It's a lot of different types of bankruptcy. For decades, for centuries, the whites have been filing for bankruptcy.
No, you're not doing charade. Ooh, at her like not.
No, because
white people do that type of stuff all the time.
It happens all. It's actually in a lot of cases it's a smart business move because particularly I know for a fact for chapter 11 that your business is still operating. It's just this allows you to restructure your debt in a way that you can hopefully keep your doors open. And of course, you'll be under certain parameters for, I don't know, what is it, 7 years? I forget what it is. But there are certain parameters where you're not going to be able to like buy Bentleys and whatever, but you can still operate your business. You're just restructuring your business. This happens all the time.
Yeah, it does happen all the time. So, like, what is your point, madam?
Like, ask a Rothschild, ask a Koch, ask a Trump.
Turns out that's not even how to pronounce Rothschild. It's Rothschild, isn't it? Something along those lines.
Okay, about bankruptcy. So this notion that, you know, we're like manhandling this Black woman in the press and on social media because she's filing for bankruptcy, I can't get behind that. Now,
yes, the people were dragging her, so she decided to make fun of it. Sure. But I feel like if she's doing it multiple times and stuff, it's like, okay, girl, like, fine.
What I will say is, bankruptcy is not something that you just sit up one morning and say, oh, I think I'm going to go down to the place and do this today. This is something that if you're a strong businesswoman, and I would venture to think that Pinky is, you thought about this over the course of some time. I'd venture to say some years. Like, you don't just decide in a month's time.
Okay. So do you guys feel like it takes Candace a while to get to her point sometimes, low-key? I'm just like, okay, get to the bits that I need, honey. Get to the bits that I need. Tommy's like, but what's wrong with doing skits? It doesn't hurt anyone. Well, I don't know. So I personally don't think it hurts anyone. I just think that when you think about like what you expect of people who are on Real Housewives of Atlanta, you don't expect them to be doing like skits all the time or something like that. Like running to social media every time something. I enjoyed the skits. Like I played the skits. I found it funny. But then I feel like if it's a thing where you're constantly doing skits, is like that's not really what you expect in, you know, from the Real Housewives of Atlanta stuff.
We're gonna file for bankruptcy. So if and the timeline for Housewives can be about a year from the time you get your first call to all of your test shoots and all of your chemistry tests to then getting onto the show, that can be like 6 months to a year. So the timing of this, if my intel serves me correctly on Housewives, it overlapped. So
better to file it after filming. Girl, stop doing these skits.
Okay, so I think she's also alluding that it was filed after the so like it was filed after filming ended so that she doesn't have to deal with it during filming. Okay, well, strategy. Like strategy. Say what you want, but sounds like strategy to me. Super says, I just want Candice to just be quiet. Oh, you guys are so funny. I want Candice to deal with forehead ashy. Why did she have to bring race into it? It gets on my nerves. She's a business owner, period. Yeah, I definitely think that a lot of people do bring race into it. Like even in things where I feel like race doesn't necessarily matter in this moment, but I feel like that's just, for some people, that is the lens through which they see everything. Tommy says, I don't like listening to Candice, honestly. She talks too much. To be honest, I feel the same way. It's not even the fact that she talks too much for me. I just find her very negative. Like every time I interact with her content, she has a lot of like negative thoughts. Like I hardly ever see her be speaking about stuff in a positive light. And I think that's the bit I struggle with. Like I like a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit of shade, a little bit lighthearted. I feel like I find her a little bit heavy in her commentary. That's the best way to put it. Super says, I do my best to avoid listening to Candice. I completely get what you mean. Tommy says, yes, she's very negative as well. Like, girl, hush for a second. Yes. Now that's exactly what I mean. That's how I feel. I just find her so negative that I don't think I would have been able to handle her on Real Housewives. I don't think I would have been able to handle her because for me, I hate when people are just perpetually negative. Like, I like people that have a balance or are positive people, So, yeah, I definitely would have struggled with that completely. All right, let's shift gears a little bit to, should we do Love and Married Huntsville first and then Married to Medicine? Or should we do Married to Medicine and then Love and Married Huntsville? Y'all put it in the chat. Let me know what you guys want. Married to Medicine first or Love and Married Huntsville? Put it in the chat. It's interesting. I left the poll up. Do you think Brit has a case against Bravo? And now it's 50-50. Interesting. So half of y'all think she has a case, half of y'all think it is nonsense. Okay. All right. So I see someone has said, Tommy has said, do Love and Married Huntsville first. Okay, she called first dibs. So because that's the first comment that I saw, we will do Love and Married Huntsville first. Okay. So Destiny had an interview with somebody called Portia recently, right? Relevance Media. This is just fair use policy, fair use commentary rather. I am just trying to play a portion of your interview with Destiny. You guys, please go over to Relevance Media if you guys want to watch. Is it Relevance? Relevance Media. If you guys want to watch the full video, I just want to play a certain portion of it for you guys. Let me just get the timestamps out so that we don't end up playing too much of the video. Okay, so let me just do that and then fast forward it a little bit and then share my screen. Share my screen. All right, let me share the screen. All right.
Yeah, and laying the point for it. It's not a new blueprint. It's the same one. Now, during one of those conversations, of course, she questioned your loyalty, which is a big.
So now, just to give some context, now she's talking about how Tisha questioned Destiny's loyalty. And now, so Portia Monique is asking Destiny about that.
Big accusation within the friendship circles, right?
I like Destiny's hair, actually. I need a wig like that. Do you guys know where I can get a wig like that? But it has to be like somewhere where they can do bigger wig caps because I have locks. So I definitely would need a bigger wig cap to be able to wear that.
Right. When someone challenges loyalty like that, how does Destiny respond? And then how did you respond on TV? Was it the same or did you have a different response?
The thing with this world that we live in that you guys get to see is normally when someone challenges your friendship or your loyalty or your character and morals, if you don't see me, then it's adios. But we're in.
Yep. Now, that is definitely something that I agree with Destiny about. Like, the reality is if you definitely do not see somebody, then, or if you are friends with somebody and then you don't want to be around them anymore, then you just don't see them. You don't run into them, or you can avoid running into them. But then when you're on a TV show with them, it's like you cannot avoid seeing them. Everywhere you turn, they will be there. That's just the vibe, right? And so also, besides, the show puts you in positions where you have to have these conversations. You have to sit across the person's face and talk about how this is what you have done to me and all of that kind of stuff, right? So I'm definitely with Destiny on that it's almost like an artificial experiment where you have to see this person that you do not get along with because you're on the same show together.
This experiment, as I call it, the social experiment, where we have to talk through things and we have to be in the same spaces, or not talk through certain things, but still be in the same spaces. Yeah. So for me, these friendships and relationships have been therapeutic. I know people probably think that's crazy, but it's been such therapy for me to be able to figure out how to maneuver and be in the same space with people that you would normally just cut off.
That is a very, very interesting point. She said to maneuver in the same space of people you would just normally cut off. It's definitely given that if we were not on the same show, we would probably not even be friends, which is very similar to what Kimmy used to say about Tisha. If we were not family, I don't think we would be friends. Very, very similar rhetoric. Very similar. Which then makes you feel like, Tisha, what is it about you and your friendship that is wearing the people out? What is it?
And so when I'm challenged in that way, if you go back to season 1, I always try to find an understanding. I want to understand. I want to get to the root. And when it's not real, when it's not rooted in anything, you get the roundabout. You're like, well, where is it at? Like, find the ground, like ground yourself. Where we at? And you never get there because it's not rooted in anything really but insecurities. And I'm not responsible for people's insecurities and feelings. I try to take it on. And in my learning lesson of being a friend, it's just not my responsibility. So I think it's rooted in a lot of that. And if you challenge my loyalty and if you don't see it, then honestly, even in this social experiment, I wish you well at this space.
Okay. So that's definitely given that she doesn't think that she will be friends with Miss Tisha moving forward.
It's a juncture in my grown ass life. I ain't got time.
Now, after everything that unfolded this season, especially with you and Tisha, where does that relationship stand today?
I ain't saying it. For me, I'm gonna always wish people well, but at this place in my life, I don't have the energy to prove. I don't have the energy to justify. I'm taking care of a child. I'm taking care of my father, my godmother, who's my mama. I have a lot of life. I got businesses going on. I'm back in my creative space. I'm back in the studio. I'm acting. I'm running my business. I'm redoing things as I'm always rejudging things. So I don't have time to babysit friendships and feelings. I just don't have it. And that's just real. The people that love me and see me, we're going to keep on building and rocking. And that's what it is.
I love it. Now, speaking of building and rocking, what else can we expect from?
Okay. So maybe I zoned out because didn't she say something about Tisha being insecure? Did I miss it? I feel like low-key I missed it, but let me know if you guys heard it. She was basically insinuating that Tisha was a little insecure or something like that. I am so like, y'all put it in the chat because I am like low-key like just I'm confused for a second, honey. Confused. Like, didn't she say something about being insecure? Tisha being insecure or something? Like, yo, I don't know how I was listening and then I zoned out. That is wild. I feel like I heard something about being insecure. Yo, let me go back and see if I can play this bit again. Yo, that's how you know I'm tired, honey. I missed it completely because I knew there was something about insecurity, but somehow I completely missed that portion. Where are we?
Brent, it's the same one.
Now, during one of those conversations, of course, she questioned your loyalty, which is a big accusation.
The same one.
Yeah.
Got it. Why are we here? How did we get here?
Yeah. And
We
land the
said it
point.
before, it's not a new blueprint.
Yeah.
It's the same one.
Now,
Okay.
during one of those conversations, of course, she questioned your loyalty, which is a big accusation within the friendship circles, right? When someone challenges loyalty like that, how does Destiny respond? And then how did you respond on TV? Was it the same or did you have a different response?
The thing with this,
Did you guys? Because I'm like, you all have me like wild. So I'm thinking,
this
share-
world that we live
did
in
I
that you
hear
guys get
anything
to
about
see
being
is normally when
insecure?
someone challenges your friendship or your loyalty or your character morals, if you don't see me, then it's adios. But we're in this experiment, as I call it, the social experiment, where we have to talk through things and we have to be in the same spaces, or not talk through certain things, but still be in the same spaces.
Yeah.
So for me, these friendships and relationships have been therapeutic. I know people probably think that's crazy,
Okay, so I heard that.
but it's been such therapy for me to be able to figure out how to maneuver and be in the same space with people that you would normally just cut off. And so when I'm challenged in that way, if you go back to season one, I always try to find an understanding. I want to understand. I want to get to the root. And when it's not real, when it's not rooted in anything, you get the roundabout. You're like, well, where is it at? Like, find the ground, like, ground yourself. Where we at? And you never get there because it's not rooted in anything really but insecurities. And
Oh, finally. It's not rooted in anything but insecurities, y'all. I had to go back and listen to that because I kept zoning out and I completely missed that. But I know that I had listened to the clip earlier today and I was like, yo, I'd listened to the clip earlier today and I knew that something was being said about insecurity, but I could not find it. But yeah, so she's basically saying that the issue that Tisha has with her is rooted in insecurity. I see. I see. Okay. So Bajan says, serves Dusty right. She forgets. I can't thrive in reality TV because I'm non-confrontational. I would walk away. That is so funny. That is actually so funny. The fact that you would walk away is cracking me up. Like Tommy would just be like, "No, I don't want to say anything. Leave me out of this. I do not want to be involved." That is so funny. I'm seeing in the chat, Super is like, my son-in-law is Yoruba. Oh, nice. Lovely. Let me see. Tommy says, yes, she called her insecure. Yes, she did. In other words, essentially, she didn't fully be like, oh, Tisha, you're insecure, but she's like, is rooted in insecurity. So that was a read, honey. Bajan says this is the same person that took up the invite on Mel's trip. Good job. Whatever Rasputia Jr. treats her. Yes, I agree. I definitely think that she was hoping for a different Tisha, and Tisha treated her just the way she would treat everyone else. And so it's like, girl, welcome to the club, honey. Y'all were ganging up and enjoying being friends and all of that. Enjoy it. Now Tisha has treated you the same way she treats her ops. Enjoy it. Good luck. Also, guys, please hit the like button. I'm just looking at the likes and I'm looking at the amount of people in the live and it is not matching, y'all. Smash that like button, everybody. Thank you. Tommy says they can't stand each other. Yep, I'm not surprised at all. I am not surprised. All want to be top dog on the show, but now in the gutter. Absolutely. I think you can almost see that now it's almost given that they are both fighting for the top dog spot. And I find that so interesting. You all went from so-called friends to now all of a sudden trying to fight for, yeah, it's wild to me. Now all of a sudden you are trying to fight for that. Wild. Super says 2 clowns. You little Miss Maple. That is so funny. But yeah, it's like all of a sudden they want to fight for like who becomes the top dog on the show. I think it would be interesting to see like who eventually becomes the new focus for the show, to be completely honest. I think that would be like quite interesting to see who becomes the new focus for the show next. But yeah, that was it for the Love and Marriage Huntsville side. I definitely think Destiny is right about the whole insecurities thing, if I'm being completely honest. I think that Tisha does not like anyone that does not fully agree with her. Tisha wants somebody that would always be at her beck and call. If Tisha is angry at somebody, she wants the person to be angry at the person. Even though she may decide to roll whichever way she chooses to roll, she wants you to not have the option. She wants you to be a certain way. And so I definitely think that Tisha is one of those people who would say, I need you to show up for me. You don't do enough. But then when you think back to what have they ever done for you, you realize they never did anything for you. And that's the thing about people like Tisha. People like Tisha expect the world to do they act like the world owes them something. But then in reality, when you think about it, in reality, the way they move, completely the opposite of that. They act like they have no loyalty to anybody, but expect loyalty from everybody. That's the vibe I get. I may be wrong, but that's my vibe. That's the vibe that I get from the way she's handled things. Don't forget when there was the opportunity for to appoint Kimmy as a real estate agent for Tisha's property, she didn't do that, right? So it's like you want to use another agent, but you have Kimmy who is an agent, you have Destiny who is an agent apparently. Why can't you use any of these people? Instead, you want to use someone completely different, which then makes me wonder, if you don't keep the business in-house, what loyalty do you really have to these people? You don't want to help them financially. You don't want to add anything, pair up with them and build businesses and make money together. You want to use someone completely out of the fold, but you expect so much loyalty from them. So that, I think, is absolutely wild. But yeah, guys, please hit that like button, everybody. Hit that like button. Tommy says, super chats are welcome to keep this channel going with great content like this. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes, super chats are always welcome. Thank you. And thanks, Tommy, for bringing that up. Okay, so let's move on to Married to Medicine, honey. We have clips, and I want to play y'all the clips. Y'all know I love a good clip. I love a good clip. And Married to Medicine, even though I feel like this is not their best season yet, I am just like, okay, well, it was at least better than Real Housewives of Potomac. So I will take Married to Medicine, even though I don't feel like they are at their best right now.
Go wash your hands.
Now, of course, this is YouTube, so I have to keep pausing just for anyone who is new and is wondering why I keep pausing or why do I keep talking in between. I do have to do that to avoid them like picking me out or catching me out for like copyright issues. I don't want no smoke with all of that.
You need to tell me to wash my hands.
Go wash your funky ass hands.
Okay.
You talk to you like Toya talk to Eugene.
You can tell that he did not like that. He's like, don't tell me to do it. And then you can tell he did not like that. Then she tried to then play it down and be like, oh, let me talk to you the way Toya talks to Eugene. Like, please, sis.
Okay.
Get your ass up.
Okay.
We got time to kill, looking for a thrill. We can get it like mama.
Like, Heavenly, was that really necessary? Did you have to do that? That's the question. Did you have to do that?
All right, sugar.
Hey you.
How you doing?
Good. I'm good. I'm tired. I don't think anybody in the group understands what it is to go away on a trip and to come back and have to work so hard. And it's almost like it's a punishment to go.
Yep, because you have so much work waiting for you. People that work know this, man. It's so like you almost don't even want to go on holiday because sometimes you come back from holiday and you are so busy, and it's almost like you regret even ever going on holiday to begin with. So yeah, Jackie, I understand, sis.
That's a punishment to come back.
Yes,
but we,
for
you know
sure.
what?
Right.
Enough about work.
Yes. Toya and Eugene did a great job. Now, our couples night was different than any of our previous
Ever.
couples trip. Usually we don't separate out during a couples
Right.
activity. So,
Girl.
you know, I'm trying to pry from Cecil, like,
Yeah, but I think it was the balance that they needed, right? Because I feel like some of them have things going on in their marriage, some are not married. So separating it so that it's not too coupley was actually the best thing they could have done. And to be honest, I think I do agree with Simone that Toya did a great job with the trip, to be honest.
what happened? And he said, well, your husband gave King the business.
Girl.
Oh my gosh. Guys, that was a very, very, very intense moment.
Girl.
And told him.
Super says exactly. That's the way she talks. Exactly. I actually think that she just pretends for us on the show so that we can respect Damon. But I don't believe that she's all this soft-spoken, the way she tries to act like she is outside of what we are seeing. I don't think so. I feel like she slipped up on camera in that little sneak peek and then tried to clean it up by saying, let me talk to you the way Toya talks to Eugene. I think that's what she was trying to do, in my opinion, as well.
Your house is not in order. Maybe that is why you haven't been able to have a baby yet.
Oh my gosh. I don't think you want anybody to hear that. I don't think I don't think anybody wants to hear that, to be completely honest with you.
I had not heard anything until we were on our way back to the airport.
Oh boy.
When I heard Curtis and Steve talking about, Curtis said, do you think I offended King? That's when I said, you said what? I'm like, baby, I'm always stand by you, but I have to tell you when you're wrong. So I needed him to kind of understand that we hadn't done anything that might have had us out of order, and we didn't get pregnant.
Yeah, the topic.
Yep, you have to remember, because when they got married, Jackie was a virgin, if I'm not mistaken, and yet they did not conceive, right? So if he's talking about doing things, out of order, then he and Jackie should have been able to have children because they were so-called, in quotation marks, in order, right?
It came up again about donor eggs versus adoption.
I thought that topic was closed for us.
Eesh. And I'm just like, every time I watch this back, I'm actually, I get so sad because I feel like he robbed Jackie of an opportunity that Jackie would have loved to have, in my opinion. I feel like he robbed her of that opportunity. I think that Jackie would have gone on and had a baby, even with donor eggs or something, and she would have enjoyed being a mom, and then she would have transitioned from having to work so hard. I think that she would have loved that. He had a daughter, or has a daughter, right? And so he can do with or without. And I feel like the way I feel like he handled this whole baby thing with Jackie, I really didn't like that. Every time I think back to it, I really didn't like that. Knowing what we now know about him, I can understand why he did that. Is because he has this particular mindset about things, about how things should happen. That's what I think.
In private, I made my husband aware that there are comments about women's health that men should probably be very careful making.
Once I was able to explain it out, he went, oh.
Don't add anything that is not positive to this. Even if you feel that way, shh.
I agree with that. Even if you feel that way, you be quiet and mind your business, because this ain't got nothing to do with you. This is nothing to do with you. So yes, I definitely agree with her on that. And I'm glad she told him, because is wild that is even a conversation you actually have to have. But yeah.
Have y'all talked about what the conversation will be like the next time you have to see Quad?
Absolutely.
Like at the Met Gala?
Absolutely. I immediately text Quad and said,
Okay.
I understand that there was some conversation that I personally want to apologize, and Curtis and I would like to meet with you and King.
Oh, cool. How do you think Quad is going to do? Because she is usually not very forgiving.
Oh, my God,
Baby,
girl. Do we need to have
it
a
was
prayer
a lot.
service that this is going to turn
Yes,
out like
we
we
do.
wanted to?
Well, Simone is not wrong. Quad is definitely not normally forgiven, but you can see on this one she was, which is very, very interesting, because I definitely wonder, like, she really let that go quicker than I would have thought she would. Definitely, I was very, very shocked. So let me show you all the clip I'm referring to, because you guys may be wondering, what is she talking about? Let me show you all where Curtis actually apologizes.
We gave you a King and official apology. Yes.
So I'm guessing this is the gala.
Come here, darling. Both of you. I just want to let you guys know, if what I said in Jamaica, if it offended you guys, I am sorry. You are two of my favorite people, and I want nothing but the best for you guys.
Let me just say this. I hate when people apologize and put if. Don't put if. Don't put if. Who's if? Did you do something wrong or you didn't do something wrong? Like, are you sorry or are you not sorry? I hate when people say, oh, if I did something to offend you, no. You did something to offend me. It offended me. Now say sorry.
And we never say if we offended.
Oh, not Jackie calling him out in front of, I love it. I love it.
Because we offended. We always want to say we're sorry.
I am sorry, guys, because I want nothing but the best for you guys. You know, we've been around, girl, for a long time, laughing and joking and having a great time.
Oh, that's why why my brother attacked me.
It wasn't an attack. It was an attempt to get you to look at it in a different way.
I was just caught off guard.
We all have our beliefs in God, religion, and whatever. We all have our own. All right, I have my way of doing it. You guys obviously have your way of doing it.
Okay. Curtis, stop talking. Just say you're sorry. You're sorry. Move on. Move on. Super says, I believe Jackie and Curtis discussed this previously and feel the same way. Yes, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised, because I was thinking about it. It's given bedroom convo, like you are laying in the bed next to your man and you're talking smack about everybody. And you're like, oh, maybe the reason, I'm sure this is not the first time, or I believe, let me not say I'm sure, I believe this is not the first time Jackie has heard that. I feel like they've talked about it privately, but she didn't expect the man to repeat it. And then the man went to go and repeat it. And bear in mind that she's Quad's doctor. She's like, yo, we cannot have this. You better clean this up. Especially because she had said very questionable things about women. And so this would have been the nail in her coffin if people felt like she was part of it and did not nip it in the bud. That is why I feel like Jackie handled it the way she did. And Super, it's interesting you say that, because I started to think about it. And I know a lot of women have talked about how they feel like it's a storyline. It wasn't really serious, blah, blah, blah. And the way she let it go makes me wonder about it. Because I'm like, most people who this is so serious for them would be deeply offended and would not let it go like that. And when you think about Quad and who Quad generally shows herself to be, she is petty, she is low with it, she doesn't just let things go. And so I was definitely very surprised that she seems to let it go and seems to be nodding in agreement with what he is saying. And I'm just kind of like, you are taking this way too nicely than what I would have normally expected.
It is fine for Curtis to have an opinion.
Where the challenge comes in at is that he's coming across
he's
self-righteous and judgmental. That's where the challenge is coming in at. And I never thought that you meant harm by it. I just was
Like, even when she says, I never thought you meant harm by it, but
baffled by it.
absolutely not.
We accept your apology, and I appreciate you.
You know, even she said, we accept your apology. You don't know whether King has accepted your apology, right? You can say, I accept your apology, but you guys are not one. You guys are not married, right? You don't know. He may still be offended, right? And that's the thing. Like, it's almost like she wants to like fast forward this conversation and move on, which is a little bit unusual for her, which just makes me think, is there more to this than meets the eye?
Y'all reaching out after you heard that it was a little bit disturbing.
Yes.
We're accepting an apology, but I doubt we'd ever want to hear this rhetoric coming from Curtis again.
Agreed.
So I don't know, man. It's feeling a little suspicious. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely feeling a little suspicious. Let me put a poll up because I'm a little bit suspicious of this. Like, I'm just so confused. Like, for Quad that was crying about the whole thing and not being able to get the right eggs, or the eggs not being like fertilized and not surviving, like, and for someone to say something that deeply offensive, I'm just really surprised that she is letting it go like that, right? And so I'm just like, I just don't understand why she, like, especially when people are going through fertility issues and stuff like that, right? They are very sensitive, rightfully so. And so for something as serious and of that magnitude, and to not seem even offended about it, is a little bit like, I don't know. It's a little bit odd to me. Super says, right, I would have been offended. I agree. Like, I would have been so offended. And I do get that, like, it was said to King, and maybe the way King did relay it to Quad was not that deep. I don't know. Maybe it could be. But I'm sure the way the other ladies would have relayed it to Quad, they would have been like, oh my God, my husband said this, I heard this, like, are you okay? Stuff like that, right? And so the fact that she is not offended just seems a little odd to me. Seems a little odd to me. Now, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to really be like, oh, that means she's lying, but I don't know. It just reads a little off. There's something very off about it, to be honest. Super says, exactly. He said it to him, not her. Yes, exactly, right? Like, she should have just let him accept the apology because he was the one that had to sit through that, right? Yes, it affects both of them, but then let him receive the apology if he wants to receive the apology, right? Don't say we accept your apology. You don't know that. He was the one that had to sit through that. You don't know how that made him feel. Even if you seem casual about it, maybe it was a very serious issue for him, right? Guys, I have a poll in the chat. You guys, please participate in the poll. I'm asking you guys if you think that Quad moved on too quickly from Curtis's statement. Like, I just think, don't get me wrong, I'm the queen of like, forgive people, let it go. But then something as upsetting as that, and for someone who is very vindictive and very, very petty, for her to just let something go like that, to me, is very suspicious, highly suspicious. Yep, I just, yeah, very, very suspicious, to be honest. All right, let's move on to this other clip. And I think this would be the final clip for the day before we call it a night. I'm getting tired. Okay.
Scholarship opportunity. I said, any money that we have collected via ticket sales is going toward the scholarships. I'm not looking just to redeem myself. I'm actually looking to show them what I can do.
Okay, Toya. Toya is like, I'm not just trying to redeem myself. I'm trying to show them that I can handle this. I'm not just like a housewife that doesn't know how to handle business. I can handle this. That's what it's given.
I mean, the fact that we're sitting here trying to get scholarships for the underprivileged in the medical community is a bonus in itself. You would think they would be like, oh my God, good job, Toya. None of that. Nobody ever said, hey, Toya, can I consult with you on where I'm going to do the space for this event? Not one consult. Mimi.
Toya, they do not like you, babes. They do not like you. They're not going to help you. And you have not helped them very much in the past. So they are just giving you a little taste of your own medicine.
Literally sent the text and said that she helped fund and found an organization at Morehouse. Good for you. Oh, you had 10 years of experience? You never offered it.
Help here.
Said you never offered it. Yes, I don't know, man. I think that they are definitely trying to sabotage Toya's event. And I think that for that reason, they're not really doing anything to support. Now, I wonder whether Toya herself is even carrying these people along, or is she waiting for these people to come over to her to be like, oh, okay, I can do this, I can do that, right? Sometimes the people don't want all of that. The people want you to come over to them, especially if you're the one that wants to redeem yourself. And so I do think to an extent, maybe Toya, I don't know if you're really pulling the ladies along as well as you should be.
Here would be to not do anything. They're doing the opposite. This is negative help. This is sabotage. This is going against.
I definitely think that they are trying to sabotage her. Yes, I definitely think they are trying to sabotage her. But this is the thing for me. If anyone tries to sabotage me, best believe I am coming out better than ever. I will make sure the event runs smoothly. If I have to pay everybody, if the money has to come out of my pocket, my perfectionist self will make sure that the event is a 10 out of 10.
The progress of this Met Gala. And if you're not going to do something helpful, then shut up.
And then when I've done it, well, how can I help? I have
After the fact? Eesh. Yeah, sister, they are trying to sabotage you. They do not like you, sis. And I would expect better at least from your friend Simone. And this is why I feel like Simone, baby, pull up for your friend, right? The way Toya is always riding for you, you need to ride for her as well. The way you want Jackie to ride for you, but Jackie doesn't, is the way that I need you to ride for your friend Toya, who has always been riding for you, sister. Super says, how crazy is that to sabotage your own event? This is the thing. I honestly feel like I don't even think they take the event seriously. I think it's an event they do for the sake of it, and they want to use this opportunity to teach Toya a lesson. They do not care about people. They do not care about the people who need the resources or who need the money that is being raised by this event or from this event. No. All they want to do is sabotage her. That's all they care about. They hate her more than they love the people that they want to help.
Problem with the leadership. That's what you said. That's what I agree with.
I have a problem with the leadership.
Yeah.
Oh, Mimi is so negative. I'm just like, you have a problem with the leadership, then shut up. Shut up. Don't do anything then. Don't do anything.
It's a lack of respect to anybody in the group. It's the lack of transparency, and it's a lack of communication. All of the above. But that's exactly who Toya is. Somebody that does not communicate, that's not transparent.
Heavenly, every time that lady has tried to communicate, you have shut her down. You have been rude to her. You have screamed in her face. I would be surprised if she even tries to communicate after that. I wouldn't. I would just be like, yo, don't worry. If any one of you want to contribute, tell me what you're contributing. Outside of that, that's it. I am not involved. I do not care. That's your business. Whatever.
And she does not do good business.
Heavenly, you do not do good business either. Or at the very least, you're not handling this whole political thing very well. You got the opportunity to speak about your political aspirations or whatever, and you could not even articulate it properly. So you do not do that well either, madame. Newbies are never involved in the planning other than Phaedra, and that was for money. Yup, absolutely. Well, Mimi wants to act like she is an OG that has been there from day one. It's like, honey, you are new. Just because you didn't come this season does not mean that you are not new. You are new, sis.
I guess we just gonna move on. So we'll see you there, and we'll keep moving, baby. Have a great night.
Hopefully the people who are not in support don't show up.
They will show up. They will show up so that they can come and bring their 2 cents to try to ruin the event, Mr. Eugene or Dr. Eugene. They will definitely show up. That's what the people do. Even if it's just to show up to complain, show up to cause drama, these people will show up. Trust.
And if they do, matter of fact, unless they bought a ticket, they shouldn't be able to come in. You can't control what they're going to do. You can only control what you're going to do.
And I've been controlled. I'm even patting myself on the back.
So you just feel like you just need a moment to get it out? I get that.
I need a moment to get it out, but I promise you I might strangle somebody at the Met Gala.
No, sis, don't do that. Because you've worked so hard. Don't even do that. Just show up to the Met Gala, do your thing, make sure it's a great event, and then let these people be left with egg on their faces. And next year, let them have to call you because they want to see how you were able to throw such a wonderful event. That's what I would like from Toya. Super says, Sweet Tea already said her and Contessa were not involved in the planning. They were told 2,500 or sell 10 tickets. Exactly. And that is it, right? It's never really been a thing. It's always like the OGs that handle it. But then Mimi is acting like she's an OG that should be involved in everything. Like, girl, sit down somewhere, please. If you don't want to volunteer the help, then go sit somewhere and stay away. Let them handle their business. Oh, but yeah. Mimi, honestly, I find Mimi exhausting. I feel like Mimi picked a side and that was it. She decided that she was going to be Toya's enemy ever since.
From the beginning,
let me see what the people are saying. Toya, did you contribute to the last 2 Met Gala? They should all bring a bottle of wine. I'll just leave it to them. They actually don't care about it, actually. If she barely contributed, why are you all putting her in charge of something you guys claim to love? I'll leave them right there and then if I was Toya. That's the thing. They don't. That's why I say their hate for Toya overrides their love for what it is that they're trying to do. They really hate Toya that much that's all they care about. I mean, if you're not telling them anything, haven't contributed anything but complaints in 2 years, what are you expecting? No, if she's not communicating, she's shooting herself in the foot in making the event a failure. And Eugene, you are supporting her in her wrong. I guess we'll have to see what really happened to see whether or not she actually did communicate, because that's the same way, wasn't Jackie and some of them were acting like Phaedra did not pay when Phaedra actually paid. So I don't trust these people. These girls can lie. So I'm gonna need the proof. Okay. Super says Contessa also told Brandy and Mimi she was not invited to be a part of the planning either. Exactly. So Brandy and Mimi are acting like this is some like, oh my God, you guys excluded us, when it's like, nah, we did not exclude y'all. This is how we handle things. And, or I think at that time, I feel like they hadn't really even had a lot of conversations. I think they had that conversation where it was at Jackie's event and Jackie, Heavenly, I can't remember who else was there. And then Heavenly turned it into a thing. And then the next time Toya wanted to have a conversation, Heavenly went off again. So I just feel like so many incidents have happened and she hasn't been able to talk to the girls. Now, I wonder if she still was able to write to them, like if she actually wrote to them. If not, Toya, you are wrong. You should have written to these girls to let them know what is happening regardless. Like, even if they choose not to be involved, you could have said, oh, here's where I think you can come in. Here's what I need us to do. Here is this, here is that, and leave it up to them to decide what they want to do. But yeah. Anyway, guys, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Let me just have a look at the poll. So I asked you guys, do you guys think Quad moved on from Curtis's statement too quickly? 78% of you guys said yes. 22% said no. And yes, I'm definitely with the 78% on this one. I definitely think she moved on very, very quickly, which is a little shocking considering who Quad is. So that is a little bit out of character. Or maybe she is turning a new leaf. And maybe she genuinely believes that Curtis did not mean harm by it. And so that's why she is not upset. I'll give her the benefit of doubt. But yeah, I do find it a little bit odd, if I'm being completely transparent. On that note, everybody, let me see if there are any final comments before I call it a night. Super says, if Toya didn't bring that wine, they would have been stuck because they ended up with a dry bar and they drunk up the wine. Exactly. So the wine actually did help, and the wine was actually something that they needed. And to be fair, right, if we go back to Sweet Tea saying they asked her to sell tickets or, you know, or pay a certain amount, then I can also understand why someone may have thought like, okay, maybe bringing wine that is equivalent to the price could also be them contributing, because at least I'm bringing wine that you guys need for an event. Every event needs drinks. So there is also that argument as well. However, if the people said this is how they want their money, then I feel like Eugene and Toya should have actually contributed in the way that the people wanted their money. Now, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Super, for being so engaged tonight. Thank you, Bajan. Thank you, Tommy, my mod. Thank you. Who else did I miss? Sissy Green. Thank you so much for being very active in the chat. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you. Who else did I miss? I think that is it, y'all. Thank you so much to everybody who joined tonight. And also the replay gang. Let us know if you are in the replay gang. Let us know what you think. Also, please participate in the polls as and when you can. For the replay gang, you will not be able to see the polls and be able to participate in the polls. However, you can leave your comments about the polls in the chat so I can also still engage with you guys. On that note, everybody, have a wonderful evening. And if I don't speak to you before, have a wonderful weekend. Also, guys, I do have a lot of videos coming out on my channel starting from tonight. So you guys, please enjoy. Also, there are a few videos that went live this week as well that some of you guys may have missed. So please go over on the channel and have a look at that. On that note, everybody, smash that like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed already for more commentary on reality TV and celebrity news. Also, one last thing, guys. Have you guys watched Blue Therapy on Netflix? If you guys have not watched Blue Therapy on Netflix, I need y'all to go over on Netflix and watch Blue Therapy, because I definitely do want to give some feedback or some commentary on Blue Therapy, because it is wild. So if you have not watched Blue Therapy, please watch Blue Therapy so we can have a conversation about the mess. Okay? So please go over there on Netflix, watch Blue Therapy, and then let's come back over here and we can discuss it soon. On that note, everybody, have a wonderful evening. Good night. Good night, Super. Good night, Bashan. Good night, everybody. Good night.